that his new girl had my best friend's name. These men are bold. This man brought me in his car to this girl's house that could have caused me to lose my life. This girl comes out and she gives him this big embrace, and they're nah. He could not be so bold. There's no way. So, like, men think they're so smart. They're not as smart as they think. Okay. This story happened many moons ago. Many moons ago, before my senses grew in, before I knew myself. I will name the guy Jack. Let's call him Jack. Now, I was much younger, like really early 20s, and met this guy, and he was really sweet. He worked close to where I worked at the time, and when I say this man pursued me, he brought me lunch. He was so, listen, when I tell you, he was Prince Charming. Prince Charming. The hand kisses, the forehead kisses, and I believe when they say that when a man kisses you on your forehead, it takes your sense away. Absolutely. Jack and I were dating for a while. It was cool. I introduced him to people and whatever. But it was nice. Jack would bring me home from work. I wasn't driving at the time. And he was showing me all the things that a woman needs to know and needs to experience. I would go to his house. Jack was into writing love letters. Right? So he knew what to do to distract you. So it was December. Yeah, I think he was coming to December. Jack, first of all, let's back up a little bit. I started seeing the signs now at this grown age. Now that all my senses grew in, if I had seen these things recent times, I would have known what the signs were. But me, I was so naive. I mean, I was so in love. I was in love. I was there making him dinner. Sometimes he would make me dinner. We would have games night and whatever. The whole, I was in love. You could not tell me that this man was not going to be my husband. Hello. I remember going to his house and I think the first thing I saw was a pair of stockings at his house. Now, Jack was supposed to live alone because, like I said, I would go over when I didn't have work on the weekends. I would be over at his house. When I saw the stockings, Jack told me that the stockings belonged to his niece. Based on where he lived, he said his niece was doing some practice, and the facility that she was using was close to his house. So she was staying over there. Now, this is the first time I'm hearing about this, but hello, in love, your niece, I know of his niece, and that's fine, it's cool. Went back over there one time again, and there was something that I saw that I noticed was out of place, and I'm like, why would this be out of place if, you don't mess with this kind of thing? And he's like, oh yeah, same niece, and I took it. You are an idiot! Like an idiot. But anyway, I believe because I loved Jack. There were more and more things. The phone calls, sometimes I would call him, I couldn't get him, he would call me back, and it was some weird excuses or the other, but I'm like, whatever. So fast forward now to December. It was around maybe about the 20th thereabouts. So Jack told me that his mother was sick. Yes, Jack said his mother was sick. And so where we lived in the same city. So Jack told me that he would not be in the city. He would need to be in the rural part to be with his mother. Like, okay, no problem, understood. Being understanding, loving girlfriend that I am, of course, you gotta go be with your mama. I am not stressing him out. I am not pressuring him. I'm just sending him a text or two just to check in. Hey, are you okay? How's your mom? Everything, because mom's sick, you gotta go take care of your mom, right? Jack was okay with that. I guess he loved the fact that I was so understanding. I wasn't digging for anything. I didn't suspect anything. I was just really there being the good girlfriend. Christmas now, I think there was a Christmas party, big Christmas party that this company threw, and I go to Jack's Facebook page, and there was this girl tagging Jack from the party, which is actually in the city, not the same city, but in the city. And I'm like, I thought you were at your mom. So I called Jack up. No, I'm upset. And Jack is like, oh no, it's not like that. It's a work thing that I had to be at. And I'm like, who's this girl? Why is she tagging you on Facebook? Why did she think that was okay? And I'm like, listen, remove that post right now. And Jackie's like, oh no, it's just a coworker of mine, and don't make a big thing out of it. Jack made me sound like I was being the crazy girlfriend. Like, why are you going off? I went to the event, I saw her there and whatever. And I'm like, I never heard about this event, but again, I was in love. Keep it moving. Jack called me one day and he's like, you know, I'm on my way from my mom's. I'm gonna go to my house. Haven't seen you in a while. I want you to come by. I'm like, okay, cool, because you're getting some time off to be with me. Tell me how I pull up to Jack's house, right? Remember, you know, he's coming from way out, miles away. According to him, he stopped, picked me up, and then went to the house. I go to the house, go to use the bathroom. There are 2 wet washcloths in the bathroom. 2. First of all, why should there even be 1? There should be nothing wet because you're coming from your mom's. So now there are 2, and I'm like,
somebody come and look at this. Look at this.
But of course, Jack was able to manipulate me when I asked about the Christmas party, that I felt bad about asking him about the rag. So I kept that to myself. Hello, not now, not now. So that's why I did my disclaimer, and I said that was before my senses grew in. So I'm just there like, why is there, you know, oh, maybe he stopped by the house. Eventually, I asked him. Jack said to me, Jack told me the reason there were 2 rags was because he does not use the same rag to wash his feet that he does to wash his body.
You serious?
That's what he said. I don't even know at this point if I did buy the story, but that's what he said. We stayed over, everything was good, and of course he dropped me back home and went back to his mom. Until this day, I cannot say he was at his mom. He was probably saying that, well, not probably, it was obvious that Jack had the girl at his house, and I never picked up on that. Let's move forward to... There's so much, I don't even want to go into the details, but I remember there was this one time that I left work before he would have left, right? And I think he told me he was working late. It just so happened that the new girl had my best friend's name. So I call him and I'm like, hey, how you doing? He's like, oh, I'm on my way home. I'm gonna drop such and such over at the hospital. I'm like, at the hospital? So I'm thinking, why would he be dropping her at the hospital? And I know nothing about it. Fine. I bought the story, went back to work, and I said it to her, and she's like, huh? We're still clueless here, because I'm like, what? Okay. Again, didn't ask him anything because I don't want to be the crazy girlfriend.
My God, bro.
Oh, hell no.
Other time again, I can think of that. Jack picked me up. Now he had this bag in the bucket. When I tell you these men are bold, they are bold, I tell you. I don't know what he told her about me. I don't know what she knew. I knew nothing of her. I didn't know what was happening. Jack could have caused me to lose my life. He brought me to this girl's house. This man brought me in his car to this girl's house to deliver the bag. So he drove up to the house. She lived at an apartment. He drove up there, drove past it, stopped a little bit further up, told me he's gonna hand this bag to his friend. So I'm looking in the rearview mirror and I see this friend walk out in this little shorts, right? And I'm just like, what's going on here? But again, he had already gotten in my head. I'm watching and this girl comes out and she gives him this big embrace.
I say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
But I'm thinking, nah, he could not be so bold to have me here in his car at this woman's house. There's no way. So of course I didn't even question it. I'm like, And again, we're together a couple of times and the phone goes off and you can hear when the conversation is off. Like, men think they're so smart. They're not as smart as they think, okay? So he would answer the phone and you can tell that the conversation is off and you're like, who's that? And some stupid, oh, it's my sister, oh, it's my coworker, it's whatever. And he had this coworker that he's always putting the blame on. It's always her. As long as he's not sure if I heard a voice or something, he's like, oh, it's her. I remember questioning him about the coworker because I'm like, oh, she's always calling you late. And he's like, oh, no. Again, making me seem crazy. All of these things, one would say the red flags were there. Was I at the place that I knew what red flags were or I knew what to be looking for? Absolutely not. When you have people like me who have grown and is now able to say, hey, this is a sign. This is a good thing to learn from, because for me, I was like, oh, there's just no way. God, I was so stupid. Love, I tell you, love, and just being naive. I was so naive. This girl again got up another event, tagged him again on Facebook, and I'm like, why does this girl keep tagging you? And I've never been the type of woman to reach out to another woman. That's just beneath me. I just feel like I'm not going to give a woman the advantage. I'm not going to give her anything over me to say, oh, she reached out to me, because whatever would never happen. I'm seeing this post and I'm like, listen, tell her to remove it immediately. You know what Jack did? Jack took a break from Facebook. He took a break from Facebook because he did not want to have me to deal with, and clearly he could not tell homegirl to delete it, so he took a break. He was not present over there at all. Before, he was posting his status and whatever. Go on the page is dry. He's not doing anything. He's like, oh, I deleted it, I'm taking some time off from social media. So let's get to the meat of the matter. Here's when the whole thing came crumbling down. Jack's mother died. She was ill, she was ailing for a while until she died. Jack went to the area, which again is miles away, to be with his family. We're talking and I'm like, you know, I'd really love to come support you and make it to the funeral. And he's like, yeah, that's okay, that's fine. Everything seemed fine, of course, because I didn't know what to be looking for. Now it's the day of the funeral, and he said to me, you know what, babe, I won't be able to come and get you. However, my company is going to support, so I'm going to make arrangement for someone to take you. So someone from his workplace would have brought me there. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't expect you to leave to come and get me and all of that. So anyway, I go, I make myself available. I got a taxi. The taxi brought me to the company, and the person brought me. Everything's good. Went there, saw him, greeted him, you know, embraced him, all of that, because it's my man. Jack is supposed to be my man. That's my job. That's what I'm doing. I'm here to support you. I'm at the funeral and I see this girl and I'm like, oh hell no! I know this girl. And then I'm sitting in the funeral and everything starts coming back. Damn. And then the name of the girl, and I'm like, that's my friend's name. And then I'm looking at her like, is this the girl that I was at her house? And I'm telling you, I don't know. It must have been God who was just downloading things in my spirit that day, because I'm at the funeral and everything is now hitting me like. So he was taking her to the hospital, but the hospital is closed. So, the stocking, the rags, everything. Because I see her there, she's sitting there. She's not doing anything, mind you, but she's just sitting there quietly, like, you know, all sad and whatever. So I'm like, I'll be damned. So the girl gets up to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, I need to get a closer look, because there's no way I'm making these things up. Right away now, I go back to Facebook. Now I'm in the church, I'm back on Facebook. Now he removed the tags. I'm like, okay, great. Can't do that. So now she's going to the bathroom, and I'm like, well, I need to use the bathroom too. So just as I'm about to go through, she goes out on the corridor. Just as I'm about to head out there, Jack comes to me. And he holds on to my hand and he's like, oh, babe, where are you going? And I said, going outside. And he's like, oh, well, I really need you right now. Not Jack manipulating me because that girl just went to the bathroom and he does not want me going to the bathroom also. Hugged him, rubbed his shoulder, whatever. And now I head out. So I'm in the bathroom. And I'm looking at this girl. I go in there. And of course, I wasn't going to confront her or anything. So just as I walk in, she's coming out of the stall. And I look at her and she looks at me.
But he looks at me, and I look at him, and he looks at me.
So now she recognizes me somehow from somewhere. I don't know what she has seen or heard of me. And nobody said anything. And so when I go back out to the church, tell me why I see little miss now sitting beside him, because now I guess she picked up on what I picked up on. So now she's like, oh, I need to see what's up. And of course, you know me, I want to see what's up too. So there was no seat right next to him. So I now decided, all right, I'm going to sit on the seat, because before I was allowing him time with his family, but now homegirl is not sitting by herself anymore. She's right up there. So I'm right up there too. So I go and we're all now sitting in the same aisle. So the girl says, she gets up, she walks away, and so I was about to walk out because at that point now I was just too upset, and I'm like, you know what, I do not want to disrespect this man at his mother's funeral. I do not want to cause the brawl, so I was willing now to bow out and leave. So just as I'm about to walk by, she comes back and she's like, hey, we need to talk. And I'm looking at him like, who? And she's like, yeah, we need to talk. But she was talking to him. So I'm like, okay, we need. And he's like, oh, don't do this. This is my mom's funeral. And I'm like, anyhow, long story short, I will not go into the details of what was said. But let's just say, my heart, my poor little heart, that was the day that I learned that men, the male species, no, I'm not going to say all of them, but men. So what ended up happening was I decided that I knew I was getting way too upset, and I'm like, first of all, I was embarrassed because I'm thinking I'm way too far from home. I came here to support this man because I thought I was in love. I thought I was his woman. I'm like, I did not need to be this far from home. I do not drive. I need to get out of here. I say, you know what? I said to him, I'm going to leave. I don't want to do this at your mom's funeral. Your siblings are there. And so I said I was going to leave. And he's like, oh, no, you can't leave. You don't know where you are. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. Let's just make this clear. I was wearing like 5-inch heels. If you know me, you know I love heels. I've always loved heels. And I was wearing like 5-inch heels because I was dressed to go from the taxi to his friend to the funeral, and then now he would take me back home because that was the arrangement. He would take me back home. And so now I'm wearing these 5-inch heels. I don't know where I am, how to get a taxi out of there. I don't have anyone who lives nearby because we are way, way, way behind God. And so I'm like, listen, I'm very stubborn. So he's like holding on to me, and he's like, no, baby, can't leave. Please don't do this here. I don't want the excitement. And I'm like, that's it. I'm trying to avoid the excitement because I knew I was getting upset, and I knew that she was trying to prove that she was more barefaced than I was. And I'm like, nah, this is not going to go well. So I said I was going to leave. I don't remember how I found my way, but I know I was standing outside trying to get a taxi, and he drove out. Mind you, this is his mother's funeral. So now he drove out, and he's like, let me at least take you to where you can get something then. And I'm like, no, I don't want to see you, don't want to be with you. So at this point, a car comes up. I get in the car. He's driving behind the car. Mom's body is back at the church. Girl is back at the church. And he's driving down the car. I get to the stop, and I'm like, okay, no, I'm at a central point. No, I just need to get transportation home. So he's there because, of course, he drove directly behind the car. At this point, he got a phone call. I remember him saying, you know, I'll be there soon. So now mom's body is about to leave to go to the burial. He's out here trying to plead his case, still trying to lie, still trying to manipulate, still trying to convince me that I'm making this up in my head and there's nothing. Sir, I already did the math. Slowly but eventually I got the answer. And so now I'm there trying to get into transportation to go home. He's out there bawling now. He's like, oh, so I can't believe I lost 2 things today. Listen, man. Oh my God. Why is this man there out in public crying? I lost one of the most important things to me today. I cannot afford to lose 2 things. I lost my mom. My mom is getting buried and I'm losing the love of my life. Sir, you got a whole back at the church or back at the burial or wherever she's at this point. And he's there going off, and I'm like, listen, leave, go, leave me alone. Go see your mother get buried. He ended up missing his mother's burial because being a liar serves him right. Jack, if you are watching this, serves you right. Yeah, you got what you deserved. But he's missing all of this. He's still bawling, still proving, still trying to prove to me, see, it's not like this. And I asked her not to come, and she showed up, and he's lying. Me, I'm not trying to have any of it because at that point I realized I was being played the entire time. Everything came back to me. I put feelings into this man who did not deserve it, and I do not like to feel stupid, and that's how I felt. So I did eventually get on a bus. Now I'm on the bus. Fortunately for me, I had this pin on, right? I had his mother's pin on with her face on it. So I'm sitting in the bus and I'm bawling. My eyes are bawling. And look, this lady sat beside me, and apparently she saw that I was coming from a funeral. She saw the button and she held on to me, and she's like, oh, I understand. Death is a part of life and it's never easy, but it's best for you to cry to get it out. And I'm thinking, oh, thank God. Because if this lady ever knows why I'm bawling, I bawled from miles away right back to my stop. stop, and I'm just bawling, and she's just, you know, supporting me, and I'm just so now I get to the stop, and again, remember, I'm wearing 5-inch heels. I did not bring flats, because anything I leave home in, I'm going back home in it. Now I get to a stop, and I'm thinking that the bus is going to stop at a certain point. No, you have to walk. So now I'm like, in these heels, when I tell you that walk felt like it would never come to an end. I am there walking. By this point, eyes red and all that, because I've been bawling. The makeup, I know it looked horrible, but imagine I probably looked like a zombie walking through the town in these high heels, dressed because of a man. So I'm walking through the town. I finally get to another stop where I'm supposed to, because now I had to do 1, 2, 3, 4 different means of transportation. That's how far away I was, because the plan was for him to take me back home. Get on another bus, and now this bus is going to take me back to my city. Same thing again. I am there bawling over a man. So they're bawling. Feet hurt, my toes are tired. I'm contemplating taking it off and walking bare feet, because I am just exhausted. I am hot, I am hungry. I was not going to stop for food because I was well dressed. Hello, I'm going to my man's mother's funeral. A girl has to show up, and so I was dressed. I think I had a dress made, I don't remember, but I know I was well dressed. And now I'm walking through well dressed in these heels, just bawling. I had the program too, because I was using it to fan. I went home and I was so stressed. I don't even think I told my mother the whole story. I think I just kind of went home and I just kind of like, you know, brushed it off, and eventually she realized I was stressed out for days, I'll tell you. For days. And then the girl eventually reached out to me, and like she wanted to know what was happening, and I told her, and I'm like, listen, I'm leaving, I'm out, but you know, this is who he is, whatever. And this girl, I did not ever forget this. This girl told me, oh, you cannot change my mind. You cannot keep a good woman down.
Look at this. Somebody come and look at this. Look at this.
Huh. Anyway, they ended up together. So it was probably her man from the very beginning. I was probably just messing with somebody's destiny. Let's just say there is beauty in this story. Eventually, I watched how his life kind of went downhill, and I'm like, yeah, that's your karma for playing with people's feelings. I think something happened. He lost his car or whatever. Ended up seeing him in town sometime after that, walking, and at that point I was like, man, this is who I cried over. This is the man that I walked through in 5-inch heels, walking through town well dressed, bawling over. This is the man that had this lady consoling me. Oh my God, this is the man. When I looked at him, like when all of the love that I had for him vanished, I was looking at him like, no way. That's when I noticed all the flaws. I was like,
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no.
I'm glad that you got him and not me. Better you than me. Thing is, later on, even now, if he had contact for me, he'd still be trying to, oh, can I take you out for something to eat? And I'm just like, lady, you said I was trying to keep a good woman down. I dodged a bullet. You ended up with your serial cheater, serial liar. May the odds forever be in your favor, because he has not stopped. Even shortly after we broke up, he was still trying to tell me, you know, let's fix this, whatever. But homegirl was so in love, she was trying to keep it. That was her man, and she was going to sit beside him. Turned out that later on, they ended up having 2 beautiful children together, and I am so happy. And even after the children, this man was still trying to get me out, still trying to take me out, still trying to remind me of the good days. I don't know what he's doing now. I did sever ties completely. I did block him on all socials and all of that. I don't know what ended up happening with him and with her. I hope they're still together. I at least hope that he's behaving. But when I tell you that man broke my heart, at this point, I don't even know if he really broke my heart or it's just how I felt at the time, because now I'm thinking about how I felt then and I'm like, was that even love though? Thanks for joining me on my story time. Feel free to comment and let me know if you'd like to hear more stories. Subscribe to my channel, share with your friend, and if you know Jack, do not send him this video. Don't be messy. Don't be messy. But share with your friends, like, and of course I look forward to connecting. Feel free to follow me on socials, on Instagram, blooming.shan, on TikTok, it's blooming.shan. Reach out, let's connect, and I will see you in the next video.